What's up, guys? Welcome to Good Morning America. I'm Michael Strahan, and this is George Stephanopoulos.
Yes.
Just kidding, it's a prank!
Gotcha.
This is Weekly Weird News, and for whatever reason, almost every story that we're going to be covering today involves deception, ranging from innocuous to terrible, stupid, and possibly evil. Let's begin, though, with one that, while not particularly mean-spirited, is pretty goddamn terrifying the more you think about it.
This week, a man fell victim to the classic prank subgenre of prank phone calls. And that man was Rick Perry, the former governor of Texas. And by the way, currently the United States Secretary of Energy, who is in charge of stuff like nuclear waste disposal, all of America's nuclear weapons, and a bunch of highly advanced and secretive research. But by the way, didn't even know what he was the secretary of.
He only found out about it a few months ago.
Oh, I thought this was something completely different.
Oh.
Anyways, the prank callers, two Russian guys notorious for this kind of thing, who were impersonating Ukrainian Prime Minister, oh God, Volodymyr Groysman. There we go.
The conversation, which went on for over 22 minutes, was the result of the pranksters known as Vovan and Lexus simply calling Perry's office 3 weeks after Perry had an actual in-person meeting with Ukraine's Prime Minister, telling Perry's office that the Prime Minister would like to have a follow-up conversation. So they scheduled the conversation, and a week later, it went ahead as planned. It was that fucking easy to get the Secretary of Energy on the phone under false pretenses.
Did they have a soundboard that went
No.
The conversation itself, which is available on YouTube, mainly covers a lot of predictable energy topics like coal and fracking, with the only real joke in the prank coming towards the end when the fake Prime Minister of Ukraine told actual US Secretary of Energy Rick Perry that Ukraine's president had personally invented a new biofuel made from a mixture of homebrewed alcohol and pig manure. To which Perry replied, you know, if that's the result, he's gonna be a very wealthy and successful man.
Perry thankfully didn't share any sensitive information during the conversations. We think.
President Trump! They've created a new biofuel out of pig shit!
He did mention some like upcoming meetings that I don't think were public knowledge. Well, that's cool. But I mean, even if no secrets were shared, the whole thing is at the very least embarrassing. Yeah. Especially considering how back in 2011, Rick Perry couldn't even remember what the Department of Energy was called, and now he runs the goddamn thing. And also because of the fact that right now, the topic of Russians using trickery to interfere in the US government, kind of a hot topic.
And who would have ever thought it'd be so easy as two, what I only can assume are the equivalent of morning show shock jocks, calling Rick Perry.
Pretty much.
What's even more embarrassing is that apparently these Russian pranksters have pulled off the same prank earlier this year with Senators John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and Mitch McConnell, as well as Representative Maxine Waters, talking to them about topics like Russian sanctions in North Korea. That's the story anyway. There's some doubt to the veracity of those calls, but this Rick Perry one was confirmed by Perry's office as legitimate in a statement to the Washington Post.
But moving on, here's another prank that we can actually get behind, though the whole thing is still scary and infuriating. So a neuroscientist who goes by the internet handle Neuroskeptic has been blogging on his personal website as well as Discover magazine for a while, often focusing on what he sees as problems in the scientific community. One of those big problems is the fact that there are apparently a ton of scientific journals that are complete shams. They'll publish pretty much any article submitted to them, sometimes even charging young scientists hundreds or even thousands of dollars for the opportunity to finally get published.
Yeah. This results in a whole lot of amateurish but possibly believable sounding science research floating around on the internet that's either dangerously inaccurate or straight up bullshit. Anyways, in order to examine and bring attention to this phenomenon and also have some fun, Neuroskeptic assumes the identities of Dr. Lucas McGeorge and Dr. Annette Kin, and wrote a lengthy journal article about midichlorians.
Yeah, in case you've managed to somehow forget Star Wars Episode 1, midichlorians are not real. They're microscopic life forms in people's cells that give them Jedi powers. They were made up by George Lucas. A Neuroskeptic didn't want to have to do a ton of work on this article though, so he simply copy and pasted the Wikipedia entry for mitochondria, which is real, and then used find and replace to change every instance of mitochondria to midichlorians, except for in the title, which was simply mitochondria, structure, function, and clinical relevance.
To be clear, mitochondria is a topic that anyone with a degree in anything related to the life sciences, it should be well aware of.
Yeah.
Any serious science journal should be able to spot the fact that the word midichlorians is used throughout the entire article and rejected on that basis alone, but no! Out of the 9 journals the article was submitted to, 4 fell for it. One asked for a $360 fee to publish it, and 3 others went ahead and just published it.
And the fact that mitochondria were referred to as midichlorians throughout the article wasn't even the biggest red flag here. In addition to copying the mitochondria Wikipedia page and changing a bunch of words using a thesaurus, which is a plagiarism process known as rogeting, named after the Roget thesaurus, he also added his own touches, like, quote, beyond supplying cellular energy, midichlorians perform functions such as force sensitivity. And midichlorians are microscopic life forms that reside in all living cells. Without the midichlorians, life couldn't exist, and we'd have no knowledge of the force.
I would like to buy this article. He also threw in an entire monologue by Palpatine from episode 3, sprinkling quotes from it throughout the paragraph containing otherwise sciencey sounding sentences. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I thought not. It is not a story the Jedi would tell you. Like, literally all you have to do is read this article to know that it's bullshit. You don't even have to be a scientist.
No.
You just have to have seen the Star Wars
Wait
prequels.
a second, this is Star Wars.
This guy has the ultimate prequel meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he even said, he's like, I don't even really like Star Wars, I just like the memes.
Yeah. Hell, even down in the reference section, one of the references reads, the majority of the text in the current paper was rogeted from Wikipedia, followed by a link to the Wikipedia page for mitochondria.
In addition to the 4 journals who happily accepted the bogus paper, another 2 requested revisions, and to their credit, 3 others outright rejected it. Also, 1 journal sent Dr. Lucas McGeorge an unsolicited invitation to serve on their editorial board. They loved him that much.
I like the cut of your jib.
Anyway, it's easy to take from this the lesson that you should stop trusting science altogether, but no, there are still plenty of totally legit scientific journals out there who do rigorously review their submissions, including some who do charge applicants. It's just that, like in any field, there's a lot of predatory bullshit as well. And if you work in science, it's important for you to realize that you need to learn to recognize that bullshit.
Yeah.
And hopefully you do.
But let's move on, because next in pranks, here's a new one we'll call the illegal marijuana drug deal in a state where marijuana is legal, but instead of actual marijuana, you sell a guy a giant bag of broccoli prank.
Woo!
It's a fun prank, and it's gonna take YouTube by storm with a hot name like that.
Yeah.
It's very shareable. So let's just unpack that. Back in 2012, the state of Colorado legalized recreational cannabis and by extension legal cannabis sales in stores. Despite that, there apparently remained a big enough customer base of complete idiots to keep illegal marijuana dealing completely afloat. That's at least kind of understandable since the black market avoids all taxes and regulations imposed on the legal weed industry. Still, pretty stupid.
Yeah, so anyway, in March 2016, a guy named Tercel Davis, street name 22 Jump Street, and his associate, Sababu Colbert Evans, agreed to sell $10,000 of marijuana to a buyer. But upon receiving the $10,000, they gave the guy a big shipment of broccoli. The buyer somehow didn't realize this until after the deal and decided that in order to get his money back, he would call the dealer again under a fake name and ask to arrange another drug deal. So the broccoli boys happily agreed to meet up and packed up another big old brick of broccoli for the deal.
Man, this little yachty guy is just loving this supply. So the deal went down at its agreed upon location, a mall parking lot in Aurora, and the buyer showed up with backup this time and demanded their 10 grand back. And in response, the broccoli boys, they opened fire on them, hitting one of them as they ran away. They were of course caught and now face attempted murder charges as well as distributing an imitation controlled substance, which is just about the lamest crime that we've heard of. The lesson here though, kids, is that if you live in a state where marijuana is legal, go buy it at the store. Because if you buy it in a parking lot, it might actually be broccoli. And you might get shot.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to the back alleys to buy beer and wine.
But people do, if you go to some shady parts of town, people will be like, hey, you guys want some Grey Goose? I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's just watered down Papov in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into the liquor store and buy this.
In the South, yes, there is a black market for moonshine, but that stuff will make you go blind anyway, so
Yeah.
It's doing its job, I guess.
That's right.
There are lots of counterfeit cigarettes, too.
Oh yeah.
Go to a store and buy them.
I've definitely had Mexican cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, wait, that seal is, that's not in English.
No, and it doesn't
they're
have
really
the California seal of
Yeah.
approval on it. No.
Anyway, next up in pranks, an actual YouTube prank gone wrong. All right, sorry, social experiment. Christ. Okay, so YouTuber Hood Gaming TV, who makes most of his views off of shitty pranks and repeatedly making videos where he flat out lies about getting early access to GTA 6 or next year's NBA 2K games, he decided that his next prank would be dressing up like an escaped convict and asking random strangers at a gas station if he could use their phone or get a ride.
So he had the orange jumpsuit and the handcuffs and was harassing strangers, acting very much like he was an actual escaped convict, desperately in need of assistance. The premise here is pretty unrealistic and stupid, but if the whole point of your prank is to trick people into believing your lie, you generally shouldn't be surprised when someone finally does. And that's what happened. An off-duty cop who Hood Gaming approached commanded him to get on the ground with one hand reaching in the back of his pants for his concealed carry.
So Hood Gaming complied, but then got salty with the dude for getting so mad about what was just a prank, bro. Okay, so your prank was to convince people that you've escaped from prison and are on the run from the law, and now you're getting mad that you successfully convinced someone that that's the case.
Yeah.
That is excellent logic. Anyway, that off-duty cop, I think he's an off-duty cop. He basically told him to fuck off after realizing it was a prank, and he walked away. But soon the real police were there putting on real handcuffs, and Hood Gaming was again completely mystified that anyone would be concerned that what appeared to be a recently escaped prisoner begging strangers for assistance was weird.
Yeah.
At one point, a cop mentions that people said he was reaching in his waistband suspiciously, like he had a concealed weapon. And Hood Gaming responded that, no, that was my mic pack, bro, duh.
Duh.
It's also just a mic, bro.
Yeah, this happened in Omaha, by the way, and just 2 months ago, right across the river in Iowa, an actual escaped convict shot 2 police, killing one of them. So maybe not the best prank right here or right now, or just not at all, ever.
Just don't prank.
It's, again, the running into a theater and screaming fire.
Yeah.
This dude's channel is straight fucking cancer anyway. Lots of prank calls where the only joke is that he's a complete fucking asshole. He claims that this escaped convict stunt is meant to be a statement on race or police brutality or something. But the truth is that people just hate being pranked or harassed by YouTuber assholes anyway, so whatever. Anyways, he won't be going to actual prison for this, but he has been charged with disturbing the peace and is getting banned from visiting that gas station in the future. It's a real shame. I'm sure it was his favorite.
Yeah, they had the best gas. So yeah, that prank's terrible, but here's one that's even worse. The pretend to be a completely bogus, non-existent police department and somehow successfully apply for a U.S. military surplus weapons program prank.
Ah, they got you.
Rolls off the tongue. This one was not done by an asshole YouTuber, though. It was actually done by a government auditing agency, and it wasn't a prank, but rather an audit of the Department of Defense's program that provides surplus military gear to police departments.
You ever notice over the past few years how lots of local police departments suddenly have a fuckload of new military vehicles and weapons and tactical gear? Well, the good news is that your local tax dollars aren't paying for that. The bad news is that your federal tax dollars are paying for it, just indirectly. The Department of Defense and the various branches of the military spend your taxes on gear, and sometimes they get too much of it. So they made a program where they could unload that surplus gear onto people who need it, local police departments.
And so that's why every time a town like, say, Ferguson, Missouri has, like, say, protests and riots over police brutality, all of a sudden the cops show up with tanks and body armor and rifles that have just a stupid amount of attachments on them. We got the red dot, we got the 4X, we got the pistol grip, all of it. Anyway, the Government Accountability Office decided to take a look at how this process of giving military gear to police departments actually works. So they created a fake website for a fake police department, filled out some forms using a fake address, and after some back and forth with the DoD, completely through email and not a single phone call or face-to-face meeting, they were approved for over 100 items worth around $1.2 million.
Stuff like night vision goggles, reflex sights, thermal sights, and simulated training items like fake pipe bombs and fake rifles. So, no actual guns, but some pretty valuable tactical gear nonetheless. In order to get the stuff, they scheduled an appointment to come and get it, and they went and they got it. Then they wrote a lengthy report about the whole thing and put the DoD's Defense Logistics Department, who runs the program, they put them on blast, basically. Smart. Luckily, in this case, the gear didn't end up in the hands of criminals or terrorists, but look how easy it could have been. Just a GoDaddy account and some moxie. That's all you need and all that's necessary for anyone to get their hands on millions of dollars in surplus military gear. God bless America.
Next in pranks, the commit dozens of bomb and anthrax scares and then hire someone on Fiverr to unknowingly confess to your crimes prank. These are getting harder to say. But that's right, Fiverr, you know, it's the site where you pay complete strangers to do stuff like graphic design and voiceover work. It's also the site that gave us Big Man Tyrone, and also the site where PewDiePie paid those poor kids in India to record a video of themselves holding a sign that said death to all Jews.
So a little background, up in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, starting last November, a bunch of mysterious packages started showing up around Saskatoon at offices, schools, hotels, and even a cancer center, all containing a mysterious white powder that people safely assumed was anthrax or at least some other dangerous substance. It turns out that something non-hazardous, that's what it was, but it still ate up a lot of police time and resources as they investigated the whole thing. It's like investigating that lost toe.
Yeah. So in April, police arrested a woman named Alexa Emerson for the crime. But then suddenly, Saskatoon police and local media outlets received an unsolicited video featuring a different young woman sitting on a couch, happily admitting having committed all of those crimes and saying that the cops have the wrong person, while also not identifying herself. Now this understandably confused everyone involved in the investigation, but after enough police work, they eventually concluded that what must have happened is that Alexa Emerson, the real criminal, had hired this woman on a site like Fiverr to record herself reading a confession.
That's smart. Let her go.
You got moxie.
Yeah, apparently that's exactly what happened, though it took over 3 months for the woman in the video to realize she was front page regional news up in Saskatoon, and, she'd probably contact the authorities. The woman, Samantha Field of North Carolina, says she was hired by a Fiverr client in March to read an excerpt from the customer's upcoming book, which will be used at the book's launch. So she did her job, sent off the footage, and completely forgot about it, not realizing that her Fiverr gig was at the center of a major crime investigation, and probably the basis of a new Netflix show.
Yeah, or at least an episode of Law & Order.
Dun dun.
What's crazy about this case, though, is just how crazy the suspect, Alexa Emerson, is. For one thing, the fact that she managed to get the Fiverr footage in advance and somehow timed the delivery to coincide with when she was arrested is fucking diabolical. And that's not the only example of this kind of thing. Police believe that she's also the one behind a string of similar package deliveries that happened late last year that occurred when she was already behind bars for another crime. And they think she did it by making the packages and hiring couriers before going to jail and telling them to deliver them at a specific time.
Does she just have a fucking fetish for, freaking people out with mysterious powder and packages?
I mean, she's nuts. Apparently she's been diagnosed with a lot of stuff. She's really good at it, though.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, is she's just sitting in jail with nothing to do and is like, I bet those packages are there. That's my fetish. The reason she was in jail that time, by the way, was because she'd been sending around videos of herself where she appeared to be tied up and being beaten by an unseen man, which was basically intended to frame someone else for a crime. She's apparently she's been doing this for a while. She has a long history of doing stuff like this, often to exes, and even her original lawyer, when she was first arrested in April, received a mysterious package after her arrest and decided, fuck this, I'm done, and he resigned. Obviously, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, though, so we have an absolutely tremendous court saga to look forward to over the next year, with, I'm sure, more packages to come.
Yeah. I don't know, this is like...
Hey, Judge, look under your desk.
This is regional news, and more people need to know about it, because it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get into the second half of the show with the headlines, we have to say thank you to this week's sponsoring advertiser, Blue Apron. Blue Apron, they ship you a weekly box filled with all the fresh, locally sourced ingredients that you need to make 3 truly delicious meals at home. They make incredible home cooking easy and accessible by delivering seasonal recipes with easy instructions and pre-portioned ingredients right to your door, all for less than $10 a meal.
It's summer, so that means delicious summer meals like these ones coming in August. Basil pesto chicken with summer vegetable panzanella, sauteed shrimp and green beans with globe tomatoes, spinach and orzo pasta, whole grain pasta, and summer vegetables with heirloom tomatoes, caprese salad, miso butter salmon, and lo mein noodles with cucumber and charmed tomatoes. Oh, and meatball pizza with fresh mozzarella cheese and charmed tomatoes.
Yeah. Blue Apron's recipes are always super eclectic. They'll have you cooking stuff you never thought you could or never knew existed. If you don't like vegetables, which I don't, they make vegetables fun and delicious. Also, there's so much more variety that you'll never get the same recipe twice in an entire year. For you, our viewers, Blue Apron is offering your first 3 meals for free with free shipping if you go to blueapron.com/weekly.
Head over there, check out this week's menu. You're gonna love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. Again, that is blueapron.com/weekly. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
I'll let you take this first headline because I know this is very close to your heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I was a young boy, when I was born, there was a manatee that already existed in Manatee County, which is our neighboring county and our neighboring city of Bradenton. I grew up, and I am not kidding you, every single year, the school would take a field trip to the museum up there, and we would all go see Snooty the fucking manatee, and they'd throw some goddamn lettuce out for him, and he'd have a blast. And it was great. They had a planetarium there. You could watch all the fucking laser light shows and shit. Sadly, this past weekend, Snooty passed away.
The age of 69.
I know, he was fucking
likely
old.
The oldest manatee in the world.
Snooty saw me grow up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. my hometown has suffered 2 tragic losses this year. The Ringling Brothers Circus.
Yeah.
And now fucking right on the heels of that, we lost Snooty.
Yeah.
Who is an icon. A fucking icon. Anyways, it was a terrible, no good week for my Facebook with people just crying publicly about this fucking manatee. When I read the article, I felt terrible.
Yeah.
It really hurt me.
Well, the way he died, too, was so sad.
It's like seeing a fat uncle every year.
Yeah.
And then that uncle died.
By living so long, Snooty managed to get absurdly fat, even for a manatee.
Yeah.
And at one point, one of the vents to the plumbing system, the other manatees open it up, and they swim in, swim out. Snooty goes in, but then too fat to get himself out, and he drowned in there. Very sad. Anyway, the headline is, "Thousands sign petition to replace Confederate monument with Snooty the Manatee Memorial."
And they should.
Yeah, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The South has a Confederate monument
Kill one
problem.
manatee with obesity.
It's Manatee County.
Yeah.
A statue of a manatee makes sense.
The thing is, the original monument, Florida's fucking stupid. Just get rid of it. It doesn't matter. Florida's, it's very dumb. Second of all, Snooty has done more for that area than any fucking...
An ambassador.
Yeah, anyone else. Give him the fucking statue.
Yeah, it's the least you can do.
Yeah. You know what? Just put Snooty's face on that guy's head.
Yeah. What did Robert E. Lee do for fucking Manatee County? Nothing.
They're lovely creatures.
Snooty put them on the
If you
map.
go down there, you can, sometimes they come close to the shore, you can swim with them. They're very gentle
Don't
beasts.
ride on them, though. That's a crime.
Yeah, and don't jump into them because they might be dead.
They might be dead. You'll fall through their body and get all the diseases.
Anyways, I love you, Snooty, and I wish I had seen you one last time, but no time when I visit. Got to see the parents.
Next headline. Clean trash off the street, get free weed in Maine.
It's a great program. It's going to do a lot of good.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, they legalized it, so now there's a store, and the guy running the store, he's like, I want the local community to know that I'm here, you know, not here to cause trouble.
Yeah.
So, he's like, yeah, they set up a thing where, like, it was just a day where anyone who wanted, like, a free eighth, they're like, all right, let's go out together, let's clean up all the trash in the town, and when we're done, everyone gets some weed.
Yeah.
Doing good for the community.
All the schools are getting money.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's great.
Weed is going to save this planet. Police stop suspicious car with no doors and an axe in the roof.
Also, no windshield, no license plate, and they said that when they tested the driver for drugs, he tested positive for multiple types of substances.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So,
It's like an axe murderer that advertises.
yeah. Like, oh man, my car's such a piece of shit. It doesn't have windows or doors.
Man, I really
or
want to kill
license
people,
plate.
but I also like want to let everyone know. It's
Yeah.
a piece of shit car. Anyways,
Female athletes are closing the gender gap when it comes to concussions.
finally, some equality.
We did it!
Yeah.
We're so much closer to equality. Now women are getting concussions just as bad as men.
Yeah.
And apparently that's always been the case. They just haven't been testing women because they assumed they weren't getting them.
Yeah. Yeah,
You ever get a concussion?
I
Tori?
bet you have a concussion.
No.
You never been spiked in the head by a volleyball?
Did, though.
Yeah?
No, not right.
I had a friend that if he had one more concussion, he'd have to wear a helmet for the rest of his life.
Yeah, probably should just stop.
Yeah. BMX will do that to you.
Yeah,
I've had
a lot of
concussions.
falling, a lot of air.
That's
and-
why I say nuclear.
Yeah.
Too many concussions.
What a nuclear.
Since JayZ put out an album called 444, Jersey prog rock band 444 put out an album called JayZ.
I don't know if this is great or terrible for SEO, but it's clever.
It's great for them because they're gonna get an immediate rise out of it.
Yeah, some idiot's gonna be like, wow, this new JayZ album's fucking weird.
Yeah, real soothing and calm.
Huh. A lot of soothing guitars,
I like this JayZ.
jazz bass.
Sean Spicer stole a mini fridge from junior White House staffers.
A lot of people were saying he stole the mini fridge like on his way out. He hasn't left the White House yet.
Yeah.
His last day is like in a week or so. This happened like
He appropriated
this
it.
happened apparently a month into his term. He didn't have a fridge in his office, and rather than, I don't know, go to fucking Target or Walmart and buy one for $60, he sent one of his staffers down to like where the interns were. He's like, Mr. Spicer needs this fridge, and they were like, no, we eat fucking microwave food all day. We kind of need the fridge.
Nah, he wants to keep his Dippin' Dots
So
cold.
Spicer waited until the cover of night to sneak into that office and personally carry the mini fridge like a pretty long distance over to
That's
his
so
office.
fucking petty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, I'll take it. It's fine. Fans are legitimately upset that Michael Phelps didn't race a real shark. They like CGI'd it in or something.
Yeah, it was a digital shark.
Yeah, they had it raced.
You think they're gonna make a fucking athlete worth millions of dollars get in a fucking ocean pool or whatever next to a man-eating shark?
I don't know why.
How do you even tell the shark to race?
I thought there'd be like a big plexiglass wall or something that would separate them.
No.
Don't sell something if you're not gonna do it.
Make the shark go.
This is the same thing as like when they're
come
like,
here, sharky shark.
this is like the same thing as like a fucking busker being like, hey, 5 cents to get in the freak show, and it's just like someone's wearing like a mermaid dress.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
in both
You
cases,
sold me on shark racing.
In both cases, you're the idiot for even entertaining
We're all the
idea.
marks.
Yeah. Fucking Shark Week. It's been like what, 30 years?
I think we're supposed to swim with a shark soon.
Oh fuck.
And we're gonna do it for
an
real.
actual shark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep blocking out the fact that that's going to happen, but every time I think of it, I got a chill just came over me.
47 meters.
Not
down.
yet.
Oh. Yeah, we're gonna. Oh god.
I'm gonna email and make sure that we're actually swimming with the sharks. If we go down there and just watch someone else do it, it's pointless.
Yeah. Well,
They said that we were gonna do it.
in the cage.
In the cage. Especially right when we talked about it, you showed me that video of that shark jumping over and into the cage.
I was just like,
Sure.
But
These things
that
got
was in
room.
Mexico. Their safety regulations are way too low. They wouldn't let us get eaten alive by crayfish. Right? They wouldn't? They wouldn't let us.
never know what's gonna happen.
Oh.
It's fine. If I get eaten, my parents will be rich.
Oh god. Yeah.
Well,
Bear chases 200 sheep over cliff's edge to their deaths.
just for fun.
And this apparently in the south of France, they reintroduced bears.
I was gonna say, where are bears and sheep commingling?
Yeah, they reintroduced bears as a natural predator into the south of France. They got, hunted off years ago, but they brought them back. Now all the sheep
We're bringing that shit back.
The sheep farmers down there are just like, the fucking bear chased my entire flock off a cliff. You government assholes, we need to kill the fucking bears again. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, you pay the bear tax, I pay the homer tax.
I'm not even allowed to shoot these fucking things.
They need the bear patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All my wool wasted.
I was fucking that sheep.
That was my
He
favorite
chased my
sheep
wife
hole.
off the cliff. Teacher who cartwheeled without underwear given probation. How was I supposed to remember that I didn't have underwear on?
Whoop. I want to know like the process for how this like went up the chain of command to like get the attention of the law. It's like teachers like, hey guys, blah, 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 do the cartwheel.
How
The kids
young
are
were
like,
the kids?
Was that her vagina and asshole?
How young were the kids?
I think it was like high school or middle school.
Yeah, they know about it.
She was a
now.
substitute teacher too. You ever have weird substitute teachers? I had a lot of fucking weirdos were substitute teachers.
Yes.
So this was one of them.
Yeah.
It was
well, you mean they take a lot of abuse.
They
Eventually, you start doing naked handstands.
That's right.
Cartwheels.
She was driven at this point.
Yeah.
By those damn kids.
Yeah.
Stiff drink. Coffee recall due to Viagra-like ingredient. So get it while it's hot.
Yeah. Boners everywhere.
Yeah.
Be an interesting day at the office.
Yeah.
I'm going home for no reason.
Just walking around all day with your backpack in front of you.
Tucked into your belt. Yeah, you gotta tuck it into your belt when you have to go up to the chalkboard. It's the easiest way to do
Hey,
it.
come here.
Nah.
I can answer the question from my desk.
No, get up here. Nah. Sorry, I mean, you're the one that did a naked fucking cartwheel.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Couple is one visit away from visiting every Cracker Barrel in America.
I'm sure they've mastered that game where you take the tacks and jump over the other tacks.
Probably.
Yeah.
And the game where you make Wooly Willy have a beard. Not much.
It's
much
a
of
fine
game.
restaurant and wicker furniture store.
It's the best of both worlds.
It is.
You can get a country fried steak and one of those toys where the ball goes in the cup.
There are apparently like 650 Cracker
Oh, yeah.
Barrels.
There's a lot.
It's a concept that if you pitched it to me today, sight unseen, I'd be like, well, that's never gonna fucking work.
Wait, so wait, you're just gonna have people sitting out in front in rocking chairs playing giant
So you
checkers?
got a bunch of chairs. You sell kind of diner food. There's a gift store with candy.
Heavily Christian.
The place looks like some sort of weird country lodge. They're not going to be in cities. They're going to be along the sides of highways in the middle of fucking nowhere across the whole country. And you expect people to come here more than once in their entire life? Yes, actually. In fact, I believe someday someone will go to every location
I think it's
just as a point of pride.
I think 50 years ago or so, it'd be like someone would be traveling and be like, a Cracker Barrel, a little taste of home, because I live in a fucking shack in the mountains.
Yeah.
with a bunch of shit on the
It
wall.
reminds me of my terrible childhood.
I
living
can't wait to go in
shack.
there and get a vintage tin Coca-Cola sign for my garage.
Well,
And something for the kids.
yeah, congrats
Candy.
to those two.
Yeah. Larry David and Bernie Sanders are apparently distant relatives, so it wasn't as
Is
crazy
anyone
as,
really that surprised?
as you think.
Yeah, apparently Larry David did one of those genealogy shows. There's like 3 of them. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
It's called like Where Did You Come From or something like that.
Where did you go? Where did you come
But
from? Nigel?
yeah, he's like said like him and Bernie Sanders are like third cousins or something.
Great.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I can remember.
Yeah. I mean, he played him on SNL
Yeah.
quite well. They're both curmudgeon-y, old, Jewish, bald, gray-haired men with glasses.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Not shocking at all.
Nope. Anyways, that's it for this week's show. Please go watch our other episodes. We have a brand new episode of Tugs where you like pranks, you're here watching a prank episode. Nintendo pulled a great prank, and you're going to find out all about it by clicking the Tugs link. Also, new episode of Tech News Day with Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg. Ding, ding, ding. A better fight than Mayweather and McGregor.
Yeah, and less racist too.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye.